Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to another installment of the Diesel Freak channel. Hey, wondering where I've been? Well, let me tell you, at the beginning of November, I went to the gym and I thought it would be a good idea to interject Romanian deadlifts into my workout routine. That was a bad idea. I don't recommend it. In fact, if you're over 40 and you're thinking about going to the gym and start doing compound movements like deadlifts or barbell squats, I suggest that you find a reputable personal trainer and is there with you while you're doing those compound movements so that you maintain proper form. Because if you don't maintain proper form, you will injure yourself, and that's what I did. It was on my third set, first rep, and I was bringing the weight down to the floor, and my back went pop, 315 pounds, and bring it to the floor, and I felt my back go pop, and I dropped like a sack of flour, writhing in pain. While the full gym, all those people with their blinders on paid me no attention, didn't even bother to come over and say, "Dude, you okay?" No. And then I had to unload my weights, 6 plates off the barbell and put the barbell away. Otherwise, I would have got charged $5 a plate. And then I came home and I crawled into bed, and at the same time, my daughter was home from school for 3 days with some kind of chest virus, and she gave that to me. So for a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'd cough and cough and cough, and you can imagine, trying to expel this gunk out of your lungs and your back's blown out. Yeah, I didn't get any sleep, hardly ate anything, and I'm just now 2.5, 3 weeks later starting to get back into doing some things. Having said that, I know you don't care. Having said that, I'm coming out here to do something I wanted to do before I blew my back out, remove that bumper and make some modifications. But first I want to address a question by Diz Traveler, a longtime subscriber, and he asked me about how I was going to mount the license plate to the front. And this little metal bracket that I built was originally on the factory bumper, and it was built in such a way that it mounted the same way the plastic license plate mount that came from the factory would mount on the front bumper. And this is just 16 gauge steel, and it bolts up from the bottom. And I just drilled and tapped a couple of holes down in there. You can't even see it from here, but there, maybe you can see it now. I tapped a couple of holes into the bottom of the bumper and just bolted that into place. I'm not going to use this all the time, and if I need to use it, I'll take a 7/16 French, zip that off, and if it's an emergency, I can just take that thing and bend it out of the way. And it does a couple of things. It keeps the hook up against the fair lead, and it keeps people that might be curious from, reeling out my rope. Another thing I want to do is I want to take this control box and I want to move it down into here. It's probably going to require me to redo these wires, which is fine, but putting it down here, gets us out of the way of the airstream here. It's a sizable chunk of cooling system that's not being utilized because this is in the way. So I move that down here, and then the other thing I want to do is build a cover to cover all of this up, because let's be realistic, that's not subtle at all. This whole bumper and everything on it is being supported by just this 3/16 thick steel, and that distance between there and there is the weak point. If this gets bumped, that's going to bend. So I have a couple of plates, and I'll weld that to the inside. Then I get some longer fasteners to remount the bumper. The D-ring mount is what, 5/8, 3/4, and it's welded to this, but all that into 3/16, that's not nearly enough. So I'm going to put 3/8 plate on the back side of that, and then that'll make that much more stout. But by covering this entire thing up, it kind of removes the possibility of wind being deflected down into here, keep the wind going into the radiator, and covers the rope from UV degradation, and just makes a lower profile. And by covering this up, I hide it away from those that might want to extricate this from my possession. Out of sight, out of mind. So first things third, I need to remove the winch, and I've already disconnected the cables. I got to pull the battery out and get to the positive lead on the solenoid that's down in there, and then I can pull the cables out, remove the winch, remove the control box, and then mock things up to see if how much I have to add to these cables. Yeah, once this is all out of here, it makes it a little bit lighter. I'll pull the license plate bracket off so it doesn't impede removal of the bumper. I'll pull the bolts off the bumper, and then try not to injure myself bringing it in here and set it up here on the sawhorses and get to work. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so these are all welded on, as you can see, as you saw. And I took the little feet thing here that mount the control box to the top of the winch. Took those off the bottom of the thing here. I disconnected some stuff so I could take the lid off. And I don't know if you saw it or caught onto it in the time lapse, but I drilled 4 holes, and so I could screw this up from the bottom. I need to get some longer screws to screw this into the bumper itself. And you can see how close my wires are, so I'm going to have to get some longer lines, some longer wires. And that should be more than enough room. So now I just got to build a lid for this that sits, I don't know, maybe my back's getting sore. So I'll go ahead and measure up these wires so I can hook this thing back up. And you probably won't see me anymore today, but we'll come back when I'm working on it again. For you, it'll be the next scene. For me, it might be a day or 2 or 10. Hello. Good morning. Wake up. So my wires came in last night, and I just came out here and built them. This morning, I had to run down to the parts store and get a new ring terminal. This goes down to the ground. There's a lug underneath here for the main ground cable, and then that grounds these out. So this is all done. Now I got to take it all back apart, put this back together, find some longer screws, repaint the bumper, and then I can put it all back on. should button up. Look at that. Wow. It's almost like I almost knew what I was doing. Almost. But not quite. Set this aside for now. Dry, and I'll put it on tomorrow morning. See you then. Good morning. Looks like I might have to add another block. Yep. Scratch the paint.
Remember when I mentioned that the whole bumper and everything on it was being supported by this piece of 3/16 and this piece of 3/16, and that was the fold point. That was where things would bend because that's the weak link. Well, now I have that 3/8 welded behind it, and it goes back about to here, and it goes all the way into the tie-in bracket. You can see that back in there. This and the 3/16 tie-in bracket and the whatever the thickness of the subframe. Also, last night I relocated my horns to inside of here. They were hanging out up in there. Now that that's in, I guess I can go ahead and reinstall the winch. Yeah. You see down in here? Yeah, look right down in there. You probably can't see it. Let's see if I can dig that out. So, these winches are held to the winch plate by these square nuts, and they slip inside that little, there's one in each corner of this. One here, and one here, and one over here. And they just slide into that slot right there, and that way you don't have to worry about getting a wrench on it, because the actual casting captures the nut. The only problem is when you're moving this thing around and trying to get it in place, they seem to, find a way to walk themselves out and scatter themselves all over the driveway. It's at least the struggle I had last time I installed this winch. So I'm just going to take a piece of masking tape, cover up those holes until I get the bolts in place. I'll just pull the masking tape off at a later date. Or not. Maybe I'll just leave it on indefinitely. That's probably what's going to happen. Ouch. There we go. All right, bolts. Really? Winch is in, control box is installed, wires are hooked up, everything's tightened down. Battery's hooked up, and now I'm going to power the thing on and see if we don't get the magic smoke. Do I have to have my headlights on? Ah, headlights have to be on. That's right, I remember now, it's all coming back to me. I'm gonna have to reconfigure that, because that's not gonna work if I only use this once or twice a decade. And look at that. There we go. There, Yahtzee. All right, there it is, all tidied up. I get some zip ties out and tidy up those wires a little bit. And zip tie them so they don't get eaten up by the fan blade. That would suck. But the next thing I need to build is the little cover that I want to build for it. Not sure how I'm going to do it yet. If you like what you saw, smash the like button. Share this with your vast social media network. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing. And if you do, click the bell icon. That way YouTube will let you know when I upload another video. If you want to support the channel, there's ways you can do that. Down there in the doobly-doo, if you shop on Amazon, use one of the links down there to do all your Amazon shopping. What should I do next? I'm probably going to end up taking the fender flares and stuff off and probably cutting some fenders. Probably not for a while anyway. Anyway, that's all I got for today. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, have a splendid day, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.